Okay, you guys, so I think that I am done all of the repotting, and I showed you all the roots and everything. Now I know that I did ask some of you for questions to ask me. Now I know that I did not answer any of those questions during the streaming because I don't have the capability to multitask, especially when it comes to plants and especially when it comes to like taking all the moss out of the roots, because one mistake can damage the plant and I don't want to do that. It's almost like you're doing a mini operation. I take it very seriously. So now let me just turn on my Instagram and some of the questions on Facebook as well, and I'm gonna answer them one by one. This is not gonna take long because now I am concentrated. Let me see. How do I'm not the most tech savvy guy, let me tell you that right now. All right. Katharina asked me how many plants do I have. From my very beginning video, the houseplant tour that I think I made, and it was like last month or a month and a half ago, I think I mentioned that it was 80 plants. Now, I should have mentioned that it was 80 different varieties, because some plants that I love so much, I actually have 2 or 3 species of them in my collection. So if you're gonna ask me how many plants do I have, I think about 150, yeah, around 150 species. And some of them are duplicates in my collections. All right, next question. When did you start? Plant Crazy Soul asked me, when did you start into gardening houseplants? Question mark. When? I think based on the story that I told you earlier, when I was a little kid and I went past the plant store. So I'm a huge karma faith believer. I think it's meant to be. Now, it is gonna be my permanent hobby that I'm gonna do forever. I don't know. Fun fact about me that a lot of you guys may not know is that I was a huge fashion shopaholic kind of type of person. I have to shop like at least once a week. Otherwise, I would go a little bit crazy. I just feel uncomfortable if I don't go shopping. And then I basically, it was toxic. It was honestly, it was just so toxic. And then I changed it into window shopping. Sometimes I purchase things and then for the sake of it, not necessarily because I want it or need it. I just buy it for the sake of it and then I bring it home and I just leave it there sitting in my closet for the longest time. Then I stop doing it. The way I go around it is that I just leave it there before the return period. If I decided not to wear it at all, which means that it's very unlikely I'm gonna wear it in the future. So that's when I decided to bring it back to the store and get my money back. So that's another way to fix your shopaholic problem, because it's not easy. I was a victim of it, so I know. Oh, sorry. The question is, when did you start getting into gardening and houseplants? Truthfully, I started to really get into it when I first moved into Toronto, this little condo here. Funnily enough, I was reading an article on Elle magazine or some sort of magazine when I was doing my laundry, and it mentioned a very short title is that, you know, if you have a big house and if you feel like it's empty, all you have to do is just bring in one plant and that would lighten up the whole corner. So I took that advice because, you know, it's from a very good magazine. So I took that advice. I went to my local nurseries. Me and my friend, we were just walking down the street and then I found this cute little plant shop. So we decided to go inside and look around, and I'm just like, oh my God, I do quite like the idea of having plants. I never owned plants before and I quite like the idea. So that's when I decided to go into the shop, and then I asked the shop owner, like, I'm a newbie, I don't know anything about plants. Can you recommend to me some plants that I don't want like a small tiny plant at the time. I'm a size queen, so I love something big, something like, you know, make a statement. And so she introduced me a banana plant, a dwarf banana plant. And it was for 50 Canadian dollars. It was a nice, decent size, about 1.5 meter. I don't know what is that in inches. So yeah, she introduced me that plant, and I asked her, is it an easy to care for plant? She said yes, which is not true. It was actually, that plant is not an easy plant. And the way she sold it to me, you know how retail is like, you know, sometimes you say things that you don't really mean. And so she was just trying to make a sale by saying that this is an easy plan, you don't need to do anything, and after a couple years it will give you little tiny bananas. And then in my head I'm just like, oh my god, that is so cute, I love it, I will take it. I did not do any research. Obviously I didn't know Google existed. Yeah, right. So I just took it home, and instead of putting it close to my south-facing window, I actually put it all the way close to my kitchen, which had little to no light. And interestingly enough is that I actually managed to keep the banana plant alive for I think 4 months, and it gave me 2 brand new leaves during the time. So I don't think I did bad. I didn't change the soil, didn't change the pot or whatsoever. Obviously I was a newbie, I didn't know any of that stuff. So I think after 3 to 4 or 5 months anyway, it gave up. Yeah, which I'm not really surprised. I'm surprised that it actually stayed alive that long. And after that, I started to genuinely get into houseplants. I started to collect. I went back to the stores, and then the same shop that I originally went to, and then I started to collect a little bit more plants in. I remember I used to go for Caletheia Trial Star. Love that plant. The color is stunning. But my most favorite one up until this very day was the Weeping Fig. I had it was 14 inch, and it was an actual tree. It was so big and lushy that it goes all the way up to my window. It broke my heart that I actually have to sell that plant to a new home, because obviously I was so getting into the rare plant, and I ran out of space, and the Ficus benjamina was so big that it took up all the space, plus the shape of the leaves, the branches, you know what I mean, was so overwhelming, so it took up all the lighting for the other plants. So that's why I decided, you know what, it's time to let you go. And by the time I let it go, it was in a 16-inch pot, and it was giving me so much love. Every day I go out and then I see all the leaves. It's just like new lime green, and then the older one is like dark hardened green. That plant till this very day still stuck in my heart, and it was so beautiful. Everyone, you know, when they went into my house, they saw the plant, they're just like, you have a tree in your house, and I'm like, that is exactly what I'm going for. So I was very happy to own it. A lot of people said that it's such a finicky plant, which I agreed. It could get finicky at times, because I actually made a mistake of putting a humidifier right below it without turning a fan on. So it faced a bit of a fungal issues at one point, but I figured it out and I saved it before I sell it. Yeah, when I actually got the plant, it was actually from he was pre-owned by a different owner. And once I got it, after reading some article, doing some research, they all said that once it got into a new home, it would start dropping leaves, which I was like, oh my god, please don't. Like, I was giving it all the love that it needs, even though I didn't know anything back then. But I was trying my very best to give it all the needs that it need, and then no, it did not drop any leaves at all. Like, not at all. It did. The growth was stunned for a little while, I think 1 or 2 months, but then it started to push out new leaves and here and there, and branches was everywhere, so I have to trim it, and it was like a nice big bonsai for me. So anyway, I think I moved to Toronto was in 2016. Yes, 2016 I moved to Toronto. Sorry, no, 2018, I moved to Toronto, so now it's like 2021. So yeah, been three years, yes, 3 years. But my love and passion for rare plants, monstera, anthurium, all those sort of things really thrived within the last 2 years. 2019, yeah, I started to collect rare plants. My first rare plant was the Thai constellation that you see in the background right there. That was in 2019. And that was the reason why I had to sell my Ficus benjamina, because this monster is massive. He's in the 16-inch pot now. But yes. So let's go to the next question. Sorry, that was a long story. What? No question, but hoping you would go live when you do the transfer. Can't wait to watch. Well, too bad I did not go live. What made you so passionate about collecting plants? It's plantings. Ask me that questions. Why am I so passionate about collecting plants? To me, it's like, is it bad if I say it's like a game? Because I'm very competitive and I love to collect things that beautiful, and it's almost like a Pokemon game for me, that I like to collect all the rare, but not like crazy rare. Like I would not spend anything more than $1,000 or $1,500. Yeah, I wouldn't spend anything more than that. To me, that's like the limit. I know some people actually would spend $5,000 to $10,000 on a plant, on one plant. That to me is a little bit too much. You know, I'm not up to that level yet, and I don't think I will ever be. I would call myself like a semi-rare plant collector. But you know, I have my limit and I know my limit, so I wouldn't spend more than what I can afford, because that's not sustainable. And another reason I like to collect plants is obviously because I mentioned earlier, is that I like beautiful things. I like to collect things that can make my life become better. Like every time I go home, I can look at them, feel zen, I feel like calm, I feel green in my life, and that's what I need. And especially during lockdown, we are so bored with our lives. I don't have any pets. I don't have a lot of friends. I have my family, but they're all overseas. So technically I don't have anyone here with me. My plants are everything that I have right now to keep me sane and keep me busy, because it's so important right now. I think everyone should keep themselves busy. There's only so much movies and TV shows you can watch, right? So you gotta find a healthy hobby. Don't do drugs. Don't smoke, don't drink. I don't do any of that. So yeah, I found plants are like my hobby, healthy hobby that keeps me, my brain and my sanity safe. I don't know what else to say. All right, next question. Have you imported plants from Thailand or Indonesia? Which country do you prefer to import things? Rocky Mayer. I did actually both. I did import both countries last year. And from my experience, now this may not apply to every people out there, because you need to remember one thing. It doesn't matter what country, actually it does. Okay, so first thing first, it depends on the seller. If you can find a reputable seller, someone who have good quality plants, someone who knows how to pack their plants, and someone who knows how to do their paperwork, oh, life is so much easier. So much easier. But unfortunately, it's a little bit challenging to find the good seller. I honestly wish I took the opportunity to go to Thailand or Indonesia for those trade show. They actually do have annual rare houseplant trade shows. And if you go to those shows, you obviously can find the good seller, and then you can contact them and that's how you find your sources. But unfortunately, I don't have that means or that resources to do so. So I basically just have to use my brain and my finger and Google to help me to find sellers. So yes, first thing first, you're gonna find a good seller, someone who's not gonna trick you. And my tip for those who want to import plants from overseas, doesn't matter what country, is that ask this seller to see if they could show you the plants. First of all, to avoid scammers. Lots of scams out there. You gotta protect yourself. Nobody's gonna protect you. I know a lot of people advise that you should use PayPal and choose the goods and services option. Don't ever use the friends and family option, because they're not gonna protect you in case if things go south. However, you need to remember one thing as well, is that PayPal took forever for a claim, and you gotta collect all the documents, you gotta collect all the evidence, and it's a lot of work. So why going through all of that when you could initially protect yourself by choosing and selecting the right seller, right? So that's the first thing that I would suggest. And my experience for the both countries is that I honestly personally prefer Thailand, just because Thailand you can use Dragon Courier, which is a sort of courier that would do just particularly in plants, and they will deliver it to Canada, for example, and then they're going to use another service, UPS, FedEx, God knows what they use, honestly. But they are very efficient, is what I'm trying to say. They are very efficient, decently priced, I would say. You don't need to do any paperwork. Even the import permit, they're going to use it their own, so you don't even need to apply for that. Not like it's difficult to apply for one, because it's like $37 and it takes like 7 days for you to get it. So it's not the end of the world, but it's just nice. It's a nice touch from someone to actually do it for you. And Thailand plans for some reason, and you know, obviously all the plans from the original countries, once they wanted to export to get into Canada or any other countries, obviously it has to go through custom, and they cannot ship out the plants in soil, so they have to take off everything and then they dip in chemicals to kill off all the fungus, bacteria, viruses that can be transmitted into the plant's world in its new home, in this new country of destination. And those chemicals, obviously, they're very strong. And most of the time, that is the reason why your roots, sometimes when you, actually most of the time, once you received it and your roots are burned, are toast, is because of the chemicals are a little bit too strong. So this is like a luck in a drawer. I don't know the term, but yes, it depends on how lucky you are, to be honest with you. But yes, in my conclusion, Thailand was my preference. Indonesia actually have some nice plants too, but my import from Indonesia at that time was an absolute failure. I think I lost about 70% of my plants, and it wasn't even a small import. I think it was like $1,000 import. So yeah, anyway, so that was all the questions that I have on my Instagram. So let's go to my Facebook to see what questions do I have. All right, on my Facebook, Shirley asked me, how do you get such large leaves on some of your plants? To my understanding, they form and then unfurl as the size they are, not like they unfurl and then grow in size. I want a jungle home too. How do you get your leaves to get bigger? First thing first, lighting. Huge role in growing your plant is lighting. affect the color of the leaves, it affects all the pattern on the leaves, and it affects the size of the leaves as well. The greater the light, generally speaking, the larger the leaves, and shorter the stem as well, because obviously the leaves doesn't need to reach out to the light as much. So if you don't have enough lighting, if you have like north-facing window, which I do have in my bedroom, this is south-facing, grow light. Invest in great grow light. That will help tremendously for your plant to grow the way you wanted it to be. And fertilizer. I'm a huge believer in organic fertilizer. I think I did a video about it and explained thoroughly of what I use and the benefits and advantages of using them. So if you want to check it out, please feel free to go and check it out. So fertilizer plays a huge role in the size of the leaf, from my belief. I mean, it's not like scientifically proven or anything. I don't know, maybe, I haven't done any research about it, but this is just from my own personal experience, is that good lighting, good nutrients, obviously good airflow, but airflow, I don't think necessarily have to do anything with the size of the leaves here. Some believes that with good airflow, the stem would be moving around, so it will firming up the stems and make the stems, the body of the plant become thicker and firmer. I think it's true. Like, in nature, they have to fight against the wind so that they try to grow as big as they could to withstand storm or heavy wind, big wind. So yeah, I think good airflow is important, but the most important thing, as I keep saying, is the lighting. Next question. What is the hardest in terms of keeping it happy plant you own? Carol asked me that question. The hardest one, obviously, the queen. It's dead. I'm so upset about it. Like, honestly, I have such high hope for it, and it's dead. And I don't think I'm gonna ever get another queen, because it's just not worth it. It's so expensive, and they're so fragile. Unless like someone nice enough to gift me one, I'll take it. I'll gladly to take it, but I'm not gonna spend my money on another queen. No. What plant did I kill? There's a couple. Obviously, I'm not perfect, but you know what, thanks God, so far, I mean, knock on wood, but so far, I would say 2 out of 10 that I killed. The remaining are thriving in my collection since then, not just like right now, but since I started. I think I killed the Shromanthe Triostar, because the Calathea Triostar, because it has mealybugs from the shop. Then it died, and I didn't know what mealybugs was. Obviously, I had no idea. So it died on me because of the mealybugs, and also because I repotted it. Totally wrong medium that I chose. I used just regular Miracle potting mix, which is one of the worst. Highly not recommend. Yeah, so I killed a few Calathea Triostars, and then I killed succulent. I cannot believe that she recommended me that succulent doesn't need too much sun because it can burn the leaves. And I'm like, what? Now I know that obviously succulent needs a lot of light because they are technically cactus family. But I cannot believe that a shop owner would recommend to me not to put a succulent in high light. Yeah, so anyway, I placed my beautiful, it was a heart shape. It was one of the most beautiful succulent I ever seen. I have never seen one like that ever in my life. My heart, yeah, anyway, so, and that was when I first started to collect plants. That was in 2018, as I said, and it's 2021 now, and I still could not forget that beautiful plant. It's just so gorgeous, the way it looks and everything. It's just so on point. 10 out of 10, that succulent. So yeah, I killed that succulent. And then I killed a jade, variegated jade succulent. It was a nice, beautiful 10-inch pot. Big, massive one. That one on the market can go anywhere between $400 to $500. And guess how much I got it for? $40 from St. Lawrence Market. I was working at Novotel Hotel at the time, and we obviously have a florist who came and then refreshing the flowers and the plants. And then I talked to the guy because I was like looking for a deal. So I talked to the guy and he said, okay, we'll just come to my shop and see what you like and then I'll give you a deal. So then I went, and he was my second favorite dealer, plant dealer, because I love to go there. He gave me some nice discount bonus. And he gave me that beautiful jade, variegated jade plant. And I believe in feng shui. I mean, surprise, surprise. I believe in feng shui. I believe in, positive energy, positive vibe. If you are a feng shui believer, I would highly recommend buying a variegated jade as well. That plant, honestly, it doesn't matter where you put it. Don't put it in a bedroom though, because I did read an article. It's not good to put it in a bedroom, but you can put, or the toilet. Obviously, why do I even need to say it? But yes, just putting it out there. Living room, kitchen, it brings unity, it brings health, it brings wealth, it brings luck to your family. And also it depends on the directions, like north facing, south facing, west facing. Each direction would give you different benefit. Is it 100% true? I don't know, but I did believe in it once I had the plant. It makes me feel happy, but I killed it because I didn't know how to repot and I didn't know the differences. I was so dumb, but I actually bought a bag of cactus potting mix and I mixed it in with perlite and I killed a freaking plant. It was in a 10-inch. I changed it into a 12-inch terracotta pot, mixing half of cactus potting mix with half of perlite, and that's it. No bark, no nothing. And that was so wrong on my part. And that was also one of the reasons why I hate to use perlite after it. I'm like, you know what? That's it. I'm done with perlite. So misleading. I know a lot of people out there who love perlite, so I'm sorry if I offended you, but just my experience with perlite was never good. So that's that. What was the question again? Okay, so yes, I think I killed a couple of succulent. I killed a couple of calathea. Oh yeah, I killed a golden potho as well. I think I killed a golden potho. Same story, because I didn't know how to repot it properly. Wrong medium, wrong lighting. So it was dead, but it's fine. Expensive plant? No, haven't killed one yet. Sorry, my mic is dead. So I have to use the built-in microphone from the camera. So if it sounds a little bit blurry, I do apologize. But it's been a long video. It's been 2 hours already. Tips on keeping pests at bay when you have a jungle. My recommendation is that you need to inspect your plants before you bring it home. That is crucial. Finding out the right nursery, the right seller it's crucial. You gotta trust and you gotta know who's a reliable seller or nurseries that you collect your plants from. Try not to do trade so much from private plant collectors, because you don't know how experienced they are or what they have in their home, growing in their condition. Like say for example, like me, I was a newbie, remember, and I didn't know what mealy bugs look like, and I actually found out because somebody else told me about it. So I'm not saying that they are deliberately trying to trick you when you do plants trade, but maybe they just didn't know. And pests are not big; they are so small. So yeah, just inspect your plants, guys, please, before you bring them home, and to avoid all the dramas and all the conflicts that shouldn't even be there. because it was your fault that you didn't check the plants properly. After getting the plants home, I like to use my neem oil, dilute it with water and dish soap. So I mix them all up and then I clean the leaves, clean the stem. Is it 100% guaranteed that it's gonna kill all the pests? No, but at least I feel like it helps. I feel like it does help a little bit with my plants. It reduces the chance of getting pests tremendously. So highly recommend doing so. Also, I know a lot of people recommend it that you need to quarantine your plants for at least 1 month. Yes, obviously, in the ideal world, if you have like a big massive house with 4 windows in 4 directions, oh my god, please do so. But unfortunately, I live in a condo and there's only 2 windows, one's from the south and one's from the north side. I don't have that luxury to quarantine my plants. So unfortunately, that's why I'm saying you gotta trust the seller, you gotta trust your nurseries, and you gotta clean the leaves and everything. But don't put it together with your collection. Put it a little bit further away, or best, you can just use a regular plastic bag, clear, transparent plastic bag, and wrap it up. And you can do so for the whole month. Just open the bag for fresh air to come in once a day, and you're fine. You're good. Don't do that too long though. But 1 month is not gonna kill it. But then within 1 month, you should be able to see if it has any pests or not, especially like thrips or so. Gwen asked me, so besides being a Facebook moderator, I am a moderator on the Toronto Houseplant Enthusiast, YouTube Exotic Plant Unboxer, and Beneficial Mite Go-To Guy. What do you do for a living or do in your spare time? A little bit about myself is that I actually worked at Novotel Hotel, Toronto. My whole life, I was working in hospitality and retail. I worked for Tommy Hilfiger, I worked for Fossil, I worked for the Westin Hotel in Melbourne, and I worked for the Novotel Toronto Centre. And I also worked for the White Oaks Resort and Spa down Niagara Falls. So yeah, my whole life was just revolving about retail and hospitality. But obviously during COVID time, I got laid off, which really sucks. But you know, let's keep the positive energy up. I don't work right now, but thankfully I did have enough savings when I was working, and I've been using those savings for 1 year already. Plus, I have to thank God, and I'm super grateful that, you know, my family is not struggling. I never have to worry about, oh, I need to support my parents or whatsoever. In fact, I actually have, they love to support me. I don't want to say they have to support me because I'm like a grown up now, but they love to support me. And, you know, I'm very, very grateful for that. Like super, super grateful for my parents. Yeah, oh my God, I don't know what to do without them, to be honest with you. But yes, you know, not having to think about supporting somebody else, it's just so easzy. Because I know there's a lot of people out there, you know, you have to work 2 or 3 jobs to support your families. I feel for you. I really do. It's so hard because I used to have to work 2 jobs as well, so I know what it's like. It's not easy. You know what? Let's just hope that this COVID thing's gonna finish soon. We're all gonna get vaccinated, and then things will go back to normal. And that's all I can hope for now. What do you do in your spare time? I mean, come on now. Look at this. My plants collection. That's my spare time. It's almost like work for me right now, to be honest with you, because with the medium that I use, I actually have to water them a little bit more frequent than other people. I think you guys, I don't know, but I would assume that regular people would, when I say regular people, as in like, you know, everyone else usually water their plants once a week or once every 2 weeks. For me, I water my plants sometimes once every 3 days. Depends on the temperature, depends on how hot it gets, and depends on the kind of plant as well, and depends on the medium that I used. So some plants I have to water them once every 3 days, but generally, yeah, I think I would say once a week as well for me. Sometimes once every 2 weeks, depends on how lazy I am. But for pleasure, I like to watch movies. I like to watch TV shows. There's so many good shows out there. I like to watch Gordon Ramsay. I like to watch Food Network, although I'm not a good cook. I can cook, but I'm not the best cook out there. I like to bake though. What else? Well, back when there was no COVID, I like to go on dates. I like to go out dressing up, going to a nice restaurant. My favorite is always sushi or Italian. Yeah, hands down. Yeah, if you ever go on a date with me, just offer me sushi and I'm so happy with. You know, those people like, I don't know. Yeah, I know what I want. It's sushi. Yeah, I like to go on dates. I like to meet new people, learn about their stories, listen to their stories, and then learn from there. And I learn a lot along the way as well. You know, dating isn't bad. It's actually a beautiful thing, and everyone I think should just go out there, try to meet new people, because you can learn so much from one individual, and that could be your motivation. Believe me, it could be your motivation, because I have been motivated by a lot of people, and I love it. But you know, COVID, I can't really do it. So, and online dating isn't the same. It sucks. Online dating is just so. It's like a time wasting for me. I don't have any great success with it. But that's it. So that is it for today. I answered your questions. I showed you the growth and the development of my plants. I have to clean up this whole mess now. But thank you so much for spending the last hour. I'm going to try to edit this video as short as I can. Oh my gosh. But yes, thank you for joining in with me. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and follow me on my Instagram, which I keep repeating myself. Next week, yes, it's gonna be a very exciting week for me, because I'm gonna do an unboxing of a super rare plant that it has never been on my wish list because it was so expensive, and I'm like, I can never afford this. But just a couple days ago, it became available on one of the Canadian seller, and I was quick enough to grab the best one. Did I overspend? Yes, I actually did. Definitely. But in that very moment, I couldn't help myself. Yeah, I need therapy. I really do. I think I need therapy. But yes, so next week, stay tuned, guys, because I'm going to show you what plant I'm talking about. For now, stay safe and goodbye.